Okay, now 7 minutes can pass the hour 5. I am Kala Dakuru Batibo. I'm glad that you're listening. And thank you for staying tuned to 92.3 Nigeria Info, the segment that we're having. This time of the day is Hard Facts, usually Monday to Friday, 3 to 7 p.m. And usually we talk for development. That's what we do. And that's what I intend to do right now, right? So, for those of you who are current, you follow current affairs, you know that they past 3 months thereabout, the conversation has been about, subsidy removal, they've removed subsidy on petrol, the naira is not doing so great when put side by side with foreign currencies. I mean, I just read the business news, the 4 o'clock hour, not too long ago, and I can go back to the bulletin and tell you, I mean, looking at CBN rates, the naira to the dollar currently is somewhere around the region of 756 naira 5 kobo, to the euro 826 naira 5 kobo, to the British pound 958 naira 76 kobo. It's not really doing great. And so everybody's been complaining, the economy is beating us black and blue, the economy is tough, the economy, oh my goodness, everybody's complaining. And then the price of petrol keeps going up, and you know that the price of petrol affects everything because we don't even have a steady power supply. So the price of petrol has now affected our transport system, it has affected the prices of food commodities. We talk about these things like almost every day. It's become a sing-song, and it's no wonder. For the past few days, we've been talking about labor going on strike or protest, whichever one, and that's what we've been talking about, right? And why? Because people are saying, we need respite, we need to breathe. The popular saying is, let the poor breathe, right? And everybody's looking at that. However, everybody's looking at labor's demand and looking at why they have called off their protest. The president promised us that the refineries will be working. Everybody's so focused on petrol. Now, I don't know about Obasanjo's administration. I don't know about it, but I do know that during Yar'Adua and Goodluck's time, there was the promise of diversification. There was the talk about going back to the glory days when Nigeria was green, the land was green. Talking about agriculture, talking about our cocoa, talking about the several things that we could amass, refine, and export, so as to give our naira a good backing when it goes on that fight against the foreign currencies. All of those promises, none of them have been actualized. Maybe I can argue on paper that the past administration tried by locking the land borders, by all the things that they tried to do to boost our grain, that's rice, to boost our rice production. Even this administration has talked about all the same similar promises made by the previous administration, talking about distributing fertilizers to farmers and all of that stuff, giving money to farmers so that they can engage in mechanized farming. But have we really placed a premium? That should be what we should be placing a premium on. Diversification, maybe even agriculture, because agriculture for me is the new gold. Look at Africa. We could be feeding Africa. Well, let's take a break. Let's take a break on that. What about gold? I hear we've got gold in good amount. Before we even get to all of these other things, let's even stick with crude oil. I hear you could get about 7,000 other products from crude oil. Oh my goodness. And for the past, 2017 till now is how many years? For the past 6 years, right? Yeah. We have not refined crude oil. And yet you could get about 7,000 different products. I'm not into, that's not my field. I mean, I could just say what I've heard or what I've read. Maybe it's even more, maybe it's less, I don't know, but you can get more than 8,000 products from crude oil. Diversification. Oh, they sell us this diversification terminology every time they campaign, and we Nigerians, I don't know, don't we? I remember during Buhari's administration, one of the governors in the north had taken gold. I can't remember how much amount of gold to the president, just to show that, see, it's possible that we can sell gold or harness our gold in Nigeria. And by the way, that's one of the reasons why there's a lot of insecurity in the north. Natural resources. I guess our natural resources, supposedly a blessing, has become one of our biggest costs. But that's not all that we are blessed with, just in case you do not know. I mean, we could use our gas reserves, which we are amongst the top nations in the world in terms of the amount of gas reserves. We could use it to generate electricity. We could sell it to Europe. Europe is in need of a gas supply. But hey, guess what? We're flaring gas. We've got gold, we've got lead, we've got zinc, we've got limestone, we've got salt, we've got clay. I mean, and not just in one state though. We've got them in Abia, Abuja, Adamawa, Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Bauchi, Bayelsa, Benue, Borno, Delta, Ebonyi, Edo, Ekiti, Enugu, Gombe. Of course, each state has got the different, not just one. We've got bentonite, gypsum, kaolin, magnesite. This is some of the things that are really, really very instrumental in developmental processes around the world. But I mean, with the level of marble that we have, and all the other things necessary for building roads, I wonder why it's so expensive. Okay, I'm not into that kind of engineering, so I shouldn't say. We've got bitumen, we've got phosphates, we've got glass sand. We've got iron and ore. I could go on and on and on about all the things that we have. If we could unearth, a lot of these other things, I don't know much about them, but think with me. If we could unearth iron ore, lead, zinc, marble, and gemstone and salt, I feel like we could make a lot of money, right? We've not even put rubber into this conversation. We've not, right? We've not talked about uranium. We've got uranium in Akwa Ibom. We've got uranium in Akwa Ibom, according to the report that I've seen. It may not be in commercial quantity, I do not know, but we've got it nonetheless. If we had, my goodness. So I'm asking the question. We focused on oil for too long a time, and it looks like it's steering our economy down. Why can't we have economic diversification? And guess what? Do you know why I've not talked? I mean, almost every radio station, even here on, the shows that have got to do with politics or current affairs, everybody talks about the ministerial nomination. But I've not talked about it, and I'll tell you why. I've been spending my time to go through the various screenings one by one, and I've come to note, I've not gone through all of them, but the ones that I've gone through, former governors and all of that, I've come to realize that these governors are well educated. Take El-Rufai, for instance. My goodness, I was reading, where's my notes? Just give me a minute. I wrote some things down. I jotted some things down. If you look at El-Rufai's, okay, I think I didn't write El-Rufai's own, but I wrote our former governor's own. He attended University of Port Harcourt, where he studied political science and administration studies. He then went back to school Rivers State University, then called University of Science and Technology. He studied law. I mean, he's got the qualification, political science and administrative studies. Same thing for the former governor, the other governor emeritus, like I probably will call it, Rotimi Amechi. Also, he's got the educational background. RFI studied, is it quantity survey? I can't remember. Then went back to school, did is it political? I can't remember. Then he went again and did another, and he studied law. He studied law, and yet I'm wondering why they can't think out of the box. Because if we're nursing gold, I mean, 1/4 of what we have inside our soil or underneath our soil, we would not even be bothering about whether government was paying for subsidy for petrol or not, or whether government was subsidizing electricity or not, or whether government was subsidizing whatever they are subsidizing. We would not even be talking about that. Life would not be as expensive as it should. Of course, I'm not saying government will run on socialism, because it might be, I don't know, I'm not an economist, but I have a problem with that. But we would not be where we are, and that's a fact. Or am I being wrong? I'd like to hear from you. 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp number 0809-030-6416. We're live on Facebook, Nigerian for PH, active on X, formerly Twitter, Nigerian for PH, and live on YouTube, Nigerian for PH. And then, of course, I'm thinking, does this also rebirth the conversation for resource control? Maybe if the states were controlling the resources, then all of these resources would have been unearthed better. But then, what have they done with the money that they have garnered thus far? Because I did see a report that in the first 6 months, state governments, 36 of them, and the local governments, 774 of them, have shared about 2.59 trillion, is it trillion or billion now, I can't remember, but they've shared quite a big amount of money. And the states in the Niger Delta have gotten extra through the, what do you call that stuff now, 13% derivative. So does this bring back the conversation, resource control conversation? What happens to creativity of the state and local governments? Why is nobody talking about the other resources? What's happening? Why is nobody talking about the other resources? And once again, why is nobody talking about the other resources? 017-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. I've got good luck from Anthony. Let's listen to good luck. Good luck, welcome on the show. Let's talk.
Good evening, brother.
Yeah, good evening. Welcome.
My brother, do you know these things you mentioned? It's like I should draw math.
You should draw math.
I and a friend we'll just be discussing some few minutes ago, and it has been on things we should study, like mechanical engineering, that is plant/manufacturing, and we were like, many of us do not like studying that because of we don't have factories, we don't have companies. But with all these natural resources, Nigeria is qualified to be producing, like, manufacture these parts, this space part, like having plants that can manufacture whatsoever you can talk when it comes to technology. But I thought we don't even have all this, that maybe because someone doesn't have time to go on those research anymore. And we are all shouting about food when we are so blessed with so many natural resources. China currency now is above a naira, which is not even supposed to be. Look at South Africa. Our naira does not just have value. Why we are richly blessed. Right. Sometimes I just become tired of this country because they say food no food for lazy man. But say no be for person wey mama dey cook restaurant. How can you be in a place where there is food, like your parents really have food, and you are starved?
All right.
How would you feel?
Thank you. Good luck.
Going away. So what is happening? They should look at bringing in companies or experts who who can help us utilize these natural resources so that we have our own plants, we have manufacturing companies, and we have even we can start exporting these things. Eh? If you like, you talk of vehicle.
Good luck. I've got to go now. Good luck. Thank you very much.
What is happening?
Thank you very much.
I feel like going away from this country.
All right. Thank you. Briggs from Abonima, welcome. What's on your mind?
Thank you very much, Pastor. Now, listen. In the first instance, we are concentrating on crude oil because they are capitalizing on it. Remove those people like Kerry, remove him from the Nigeria, this NNPC. Put all those who are serving with Buhari, take them away from the system. People are importing from offshore refineries. That's why they don't want our refineries to work. And the people who are in there, the politicians are there for their pockets, not for the development of Nigeria. Otherwise, like I said, with all the minerals and things we have, Nigeria should be a great country. But for instance, the Sokoto Energy Research Center developed solar systems. We did not pick it up. Rather, we want to import. So they should remove all those people who serve with Buhari and his agencies, because they are all busy on capitalizing on crude oil. For instance, they don't tell us how much they are selling crude oil now, but a lot of money is being made from crude oil. So let us remove Kerry and other people.
But Kerry is crude oil. Kerry does not have anything to do with other mineral resources. Kerry is NNPCL, and NNPCL is crude oil.
Let them remove him.
All right then. All right. Thank you, Briggs. Let them remove him. You said. All right. All right then. Moving on. Hello. Welcome.
Thank you. Canada, good evening.
Yeah, Miriam from Okrika. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you. You see, Canada, the reason why the former Niger Delta agitator came out and began to agitate, it was because of this issue that the Boko Haram, the current S-men, are doing right now, that they are not really tackling. These people are guarding their natural resources and not seeing themselves and making use of the profit that comes from it. And that is exactly what those agitators they did, and they now claim
the families of Chief Q, the Sukari
hour or even less. And welcome back. I am Kalada Kurubatibo. This is Ad Factor 92.3 Nigeria Info, and we are having a conversation for development. And I hope you can join us right now and talk for development. And I'm asking, what about the other resources? You know, I'm talking about agriculture. And by the way, I mean, agriculture is not about rice alone. It's not about, so many things. They are remember when we were in primary and secondary school, for those of you who are, in your 40s, you remember the thoughts, you in agricultural science at the time, that we have what we call cash crops. Well, I mean, we could get into those stuff, right? Cash crops. Or at the crops no longer cashing out. Anyways, but we're also talking about gold, lead. I mean, some of these are the things that are necessary in the technological sector of the world, in road construction and building construction. I'm talking about iron ore that could also be used in manufacturing. In this period of robotics and all of that, we need some of the aluminium and all of that stuff. We've got it. We've got it. Should I go on? We've got human resource as well. Nigerians are one of the brightest people in the world. I mean, given the hardship that we have to go through, I mean, it makes us wise. It makes us tough. It makes us great people, and we're ruling the world. Look at it. Look at countries where Nigerians are there doing great things. So why have we not been able to harness? I mean, Labour went to the negotiating table with the president, and all they thought about was the refinery working by December. Nobody talked about the order. Oh my goodness. I'm going to go to the phone lines now. 08179230002, 08179230003. WhatsApp 0809030646. First question: does this bring us back to the conversation about resource control? But if we say yes, what about the little that have been given to the states and local governments? Have they done the needed? Does this also bring about the creativity of state governments and local governments? And does it bring that conversation to the fore? And finally, why is nobody, for goodness sake, why is nobody talking about the order? I mean, do you know when it occurred to me? I was listening to RFI once again. He was in front of the Senate, and he mentioned I think he was talking about power, and he somehow has a good knowledge about power, so to say, and that's why I'm saying that these people know what they're doing. Anyways, moving on. He talked about coal. The possibility of using coal for electricity, even though the world have moved on and all of that. Then I realized, it's true. We have more than one natural resource on just one. Even that one that we focus on, the crude. I'll start with him. Anything next to you, welcome.
Yeah, Nigeria is a very blessed country.
Okay.
And one will wonder, why are we this poor? We will have this much resources. And this hovers around the statement of that our leaders are empty. And I agree with him, because then going back to the local government, the state government, each of the local governments have something that they are paid out. How is it bearable? Some people in this country, we have arable lands, we have damage. Power is appalling, please.
All right, everybody,
Yeah, greetings.
Yeah, greetings to you as well.
My concern is, I think we have to give our attention to the zoning the country is very high. You go to the is this something of certificate because something we do in this Mother Goose program on TV, where they say if you open a book, there is something you can find.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Canada, the way to administer an economy is completely written and very well. Which you get turn it around, pay salary law, invest the rest, and begin with future use. Yeah. So we can now. Then I know what if I do.
Let us go and stand by the see.
Do you really think that know the goal, for instance, so the one that we've got, or you know that we're very potentially agricultural hub in Africa? Do you think it was?
The mentality of what the Bible describes, coming to maim, kill and steal. Do you understand?
Okay.
So their minds, all attention are on the ready-made petrodollars. Let us struggle for them, which they don't even understand. That you don't have to keep money and be happy. Money does not give happiness. Any soundly educated person, we know that money actually does not bring happiness.
All right.
Because if you are going to die, you will die, and money will not save you. But Marley said it when he tried to save his own life. You know, his son, they paid all the millions he had. Collective security, where you will now put out industries. For instance, now, if the
summarize, please.
Government
Yeah.
industry is there'll be a sample. The next year, people looking for people do jobs for them.
I just have got to let you go now. Thank you very much. One of the readers the ability, uranium capacity, French government in West Canada. Anyway, from him, from go right to look up. That's okay.
I listened to you, and I got to know that the crude oil you talk about how not just them. So outside oil and maybe some other things, we have so many things to do with this crude oil. But it's just unfortunate that even our refineries could not be put to function for many years, after many years. Now, what do they do? What does they do? Our governors, they collect allocations, revenue, they collect derivation, construct roads, construct bridges, build befitting houses, and that's all. They are not creative. A lot of our politicians in government are not creative. It's just free money. Free money, whatever thing that they want to do, and to them that is development. Now, you just imagine even the ministerial screening. A lot of us are talking about portfolio, cashing portfolios for the screening. Nigeria is a country where a medical doctor will become a minister for justice, and a lawyer become a minister for health. That is Nigeria for you. Welcome to Nigeria. It is not unfortunate. We have Nigeria a blessed country.
All right.
But because of lots of humans we have, leaders we have, Nigeria is like a cost country. May God help us.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I've got McDonald from Kana local government area. McDonald, welcome.
Thank you, Kalada.
Yeah.
To me, it is not the question of education or the qualification of these leaders. Until we solve the fundamental issue or the fundamental problem of Nigeria, nothing will work. There is a principle of law made popular by the English priest called ordaining in the case of UAC and McFoy, and he said you cannot put something on nothing and you expect it to stand. Nigeria as a country is founded on nothing until we address the national question of who is a Nigerian. Where the man in Sokoto, where he believes in Nigeria, and all of us have a stake in this country. Except we solve that problem, nothing is going to work in this country. Nigeria is just like anybody, any person, a property of everybody. This one will come and take his own. This one will come and take his own. This one. So we don't have a national philosophy. Not until we design that and put that in place, nothing is going to work in this country. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, McDonald. You're towards let's take a branch. Let's branch the WhatsApp. All right. I don't know what's happening to the network. I can't access the platform, so I'm just going to go back to the phone lines. Ring me right now: 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. This one says the diversification into other natural resources will help to boost the economy Our leaders are selfish because when these raw materials are discovered and processed, it will provide employment for the youths, boost the country's economy, and alleviate poverty. If our leaders will tell themselves the truth and do the needful, things will get better. Thank you too. But I've got Muriel from Africa calling back in, so let's listen to Muriel. Muriel, welcome. Hello, Muriel. Can you hear me?
Good evening.
Yeah, sorry about the commercial break and how you had to be let go.
Okay.
All right, welcome.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I heard all this explanation and this same thing we've been hearing for a long time, it brings me to the conclusion that the insecurity in the northern part of Nigeria is not going anywhere soon, because these things are part of their agenda. These things are part of what they are doing, and they are just covering it up, harnessing their own resources, using it, and yet sharing the ones we have here. Now, when our own agitators came out and they pacified them, they gave them an amnesty, they calmed them down and dissolved them. But yet in the north, they are still there harnessing their resources. Now,
Muriel, can you hear me? When you say they are nursing their resources, when you say they are nursing, what proof do you have that they are nursing? Because when you have conversations like this, you want to be careful not to cause ethnic warfare. Can you hear me now, please?
Okay, yes, I can hear you. Just speak up a bit.
I said, what proof do you have that they are nursing their own, product? What proof do you have?
We've heard so many times that their gold and some of their national resources, they are exporting it out
illegally now. Not
that the terrorists are harnessing those national resources and they are exporting it out. They are selling it out to other countries, using it to buy all of the things they need. Trust me, we've heard it on radio. But let me just round up, Kalada. It's not because we don't have the manpower, because as the statistics have told us that it's in Nigeria that we have the highest number of youths and skilled manpower, youthful population. So we have everything we need to harness all our resources. But our leading class will refuse, because they always want and will always want the poor to be subservient to them and their children. They don't want the poor to breathe. They don't want the poor to come up. They don't want anything that will favor the poor. Trust me, one day people will rise up and ask and demand accountability from their leaders. That day is coming soon.
Thank you. Thank you very much for calling in. Breaks from Abunima. Turn off your radio, please.
I feel that.
Breaks, turn off your radio, please.
That radio. Our problem is that we take the political parties. We used to have independent people standing for election. If the right people are elected into office, we will have people who will think Nigeria and think development and use our resources. But when we go to political parties, the people in the political party are only thinking of their pockets and what they are doing for themselves. So we're not having those who are thinking Nigeria, who are going into government to think of development, think of manufacturing, and so on. So we should change our electoral system. We should allow people to come in and stand for election, not necessarily political parties. That is our problem.
All right then. Thank you very much for your time there. Thank you very much. This is good evening, Canada. I believe that adversity is the mother of innovation. Once a public officer sees his or her office as an opportunity to better his or her lot and that of his or her family, that officer would lack innovation. Even to curb as little as lateness of their own personal staff, they wouldn't be able to solve that small problem. They would resort to sacking people. When your mind is on your people, ideas and inspiration that will help solve the challenges staring you in the face would be sparking off in your head from all manner of normal and unusual sources. You would watch a TV program or listen to a call on radio, and you would know that they were literally talking to you. Text from Oyibo. Text, thank you very much. The diversification into other natural resources will help to boost the economy. Our leaders are selfish because when the raw materials are discovered and okay, I think I've read this one. So thank you very much. Keep your calls coming in. Let's see. Do I have enough time? Yes, I've got enough time. I've got enough time for you. I've got a commercial break coming up. You know what? I'm just going to say. I'm going to leave this for the open season. When we come back, remember the major news is coming your way by 6. There is a commercial break right now. I can still see your calls, but just step on the brakes for now. When we come back after the major news by 6 or at 6, we will continue the conversations. I am Kala Dakurubatubo, and you're listening to Hard Facts on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Stay tuned.